When you're really into a certain hobby or certain anything, really, not really even hobby, whether it's your work or something about your lifestyle, you often develop goals along the way, or whether it's goals or just something that you want to like reach or something that you want to get or something that feels unreachable and feels like something that you can tick off as like, if I do this, it's gonna really mean something else, you know? And that can be as grand or as minuscule as you want, you know? It can be in an MMORPG getting some kind of rare drop that isn't even usable, but it's a cool cosmetic item. Or, you know, in some other games, getting a certain achievement, you know, or getting plat on a game on your PS4 or something. It's those simple things that don't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things. You know, they're not gonna get you a job, they're not gonna get you, you know, world fame or anything like that, but it's something about achieving them and getting them that just makes it feel so much more amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, for all the years that I've played Vanguard, or not for all the years actually, because for the first year or two I definitely didn't know as much as I did later on, I basically had this goal. When I started to kind of play Vanguard more competitively, before I started my kind of, you know, entire YouTube journey, I started to look more at what the whole world is doing and what goes on in other parts of the world, and of course Japan, because that's where cards come out first, results come out first, we know what the meta is first. And I remember in, I think 2013, 2014, somewhere along those lines, I found out that they basically have sleeves for specific events. Now, I never really cared that much about these kind of things until then. I always thought sleeves are cool, but I liked owning like character sleeves. So I always used like Kote sleeves for my DP, Ren sleeves for my Shadow Paladin, Lukir sleeves for my Pale Moon. You know, I didn't really necessarily think too much about like pimping them out with like how Yu-Gi-Oh players always had like World Championship something something on their sleeves and stuff like that. And I always just kind of didn't really look at it too much until I started to see what kind of amazing event exclusive sleeves Japan was getting. So what Japan had was this certain design, which is this one. So you can kind of see it here. It says Fighters Climax 2013. So these ones I found so cool. It was like they're black and red, they have little lock symbols in them, and even though it's just the name of an event, it's a such nicely designed sleeve design that I was like, this is really cool. Like, this both captures the nice design part of things and also has this cool kind of thing of like, oh, you actually have something that dates back so long ago. And I found that really, really dope. So I was like, you know, I got these pretty easily. They're pretty easy to find on eBay. I think that's where I got them from. And, you know, I just played with these always on my DP. This was always on my main competitive deck. I always had these for the most part. And, you know, I just find them super, super cool. And obviously, after I got those, I started researching what other sleeves are there, because if there's a 2013, then obviously that means there must have been a 2012 and a 2011 and a 2014, etc. But unfortunately, after 2015, they actually, or from 2015 onwards, they stopped doing these like yearly sleeves and just did like, you know, some kind of special sleeve, but not necessarily signifying that event at the time. So like, you know, WGP 2017 or something didn't have their own sleeves, but they did sell goods exclusive to that event, if that makes sense. So these kind of Fighters Climax sleeves basically stopped after a while. And if you don't know what Fighters Climax is, it's basically, it used to be, it doesn't exist anymore, but it used to be like the World Grand Prix or the Bushiroad Championship Series, basically the big event of the year for Japan. So just for the Japanese part of the game, not for the English part. For us, we always had the Vanguard World Championship or the BCS in English instead. Of course, in English, we always got nice products too, like deck boxes and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like we didn't get stuff either, but it took a while until we got sleeves in English too. So then I continued my journey of finding cool old Fighters Climax sleeves, and then I got my hands on these. These are the Fighters Climax 2012. So they're a blue design, they're the year before. They almost feel like a super robot kind of design with this little like, you know, this thing right here, the little red kind of V fin type thing. So yeah, so I got these because they're very cool looking. You know, they're blue, they're quite pretty. Not as pretty as the 2013 ones, I gotta say, but they still have that nice feeling of like, oh, this is old and rare. Pretty hard to get. I think you can still get them online, you know, as with all these things, but the feeling of, I guess, rarity and the fact that they kind of date back to this cool event, and it both has that connotation of like, oh, this person's a tryhard because they're playing with, you know, old event sleeves, but at the same time it has this connotation of like, oh, I'd never even seen these, this is so cool, like I can't believe this is an official Bushiroad product. And then finally, the only other one that they released afterwards was the 2014, so they went back to this sort of format instead of being sideways. And so 2014 was a beautiful design. Actually, these came out, this came out when I was actually already playing very competitively, right before I made the switch to YouTube actually. So these are the easiest to get. I think these are quite available because keep in mind that with every year there was more players and more stock to go around. So now you must be wondering, why am I making this video? And of course you've seen the title. And anyone that's been watching me for a while, or anyone that interacts with me on a somewhat frequent basis and this topic ever comes up, you'll know that I have been on the search, on the prowl, let's say, for the 2011 Fighters Climax sleeves for as long as I've known that they've existed. So I would say my entire Vanguard history, but for the first year and a half or so, I didn't know that these things existed. And as soon as I saw them, I was like, this is incredible. The design is so beautiful. There's no other sleeve that has that sort of like connotation of like, oh my god, you've been around since the start, or like, you know, like you really must be really into the game and into the competitive series to even seek them out, even if you weren't around in 2011. And so that connotation, I guess, feels like something, but it went way further beyond that. It became such a goal of mine to get those sleeves that I really just looked past everything else. I was like, it doesn't even matter what it means anymore. Those sleeves are so cool and I want them so bad. And like, for as long as I'm playing Vanguard, for as long as I'm alive, I must have them at some point in my life because they are just so cool. And at one point, I lived in Japan, so I lived in Tokyo for a while because I studied there, and I couldn't find them in stores anywhere. Only after I moved out, actually, one of my friends saw them, and then they were sold, you know, just like 1 hour later. So, you know, that was already a missed deal. But I remember once, just one time when I was at a shop tournament, and keep in mind that I went to shop tournaments almost every day, or at least a few times a week, I had one opponent who had those sleeves, and I was like, oh my god, you actually have them. Like, it was such a rare thing to even see them, but my opponent had those sleeves, and I was like, oh my god, that's so amazing. And he's like, yeah, I got them ages ago, I don't even remember how. And I was like, oh man, I really wish I could find them somehow. And then he said, yeah, it's pretty hard, even online they're not really sold often, it's really difficult to come by them and everything. But you know, I was still like, I will try to find them one day. But then the entire time I lived in Japan, I just couldn't find them, and then I moved back and didn't find them. The search continued. Then eventually I saw some people online selling them, but for way too crazy prices, because I would have had to essentially pay minimum of $100 USD for a pack of those sleeves. And I was thinking, the one time they were on sale in Japan that I couldn't get them when I had already moved out, they were on sale for about $60. I was like, 60 is the price I'm going to try to negotiate for, and it didn't work out. So I was like, I could either get them for 100 or keep my search. And I was like, you know what, I'll pass up on the 100 and I'm going to keep searching and find them for a better price. And so I continued. And then I remember at one point during a stream I mentioned that I'm searching for these sleeves, and like 2 viewers were like, oh, I actually have them, but then they either didn't find them or never got back to me. So I was like, will I ever actually be reunited? Until one day I was browsing. There's basically a Japanese eBay called Mercari, and so it's used for literally selling anything and everything, but it's what I use sometimes to buy Japanese cards. So whether it's Japanese cards from my DP deck or from the games that I play in Japanese, like Fire Emblem Cypher, I'd use Mercari sometimes, or like just to buy like a playmat or something like that. So Mercari, I was just browsing and I was looking at the VMC spring sleeve. So VMC is another Vanguard tournament series that also had its own sleeves, and I was browsing those. And then while browsing and I found them, I was like, wait, I haven't checked up on the Fighters Climax 2011 ones in a while. Let's see if there's anybody selling them. And then I saw a bunch of them that were already sold, so they weren't available anymore. And then there was one seller that didn't put the title as, like, you know, Fighters Climax 2011. The title of the item was just Vanguard in Japanese, so just the word Vanguard. And I was like, that's them, that's them, that's them right there. Instantly added to cart. 6,000 yen for 2 packs of them, so basically $30, and I was like, I gotta do this. And finally the package is here. This DHL envelope contains what might just be the culmination of my, what is it, like 7-year search at this point. And this has other things in it too, but most importantly, this has the sleeves. And so we're gonna open this bad boy up, almost said bad baby, and see what's in here. Now, the seller did write that they are unused, I believe, so normally, quality-wise and everything, they should be fine. Alright, here we go. It's in the white packaging. Let's see how this looks. Let's see if it's the first thing that I pull out or not. I wonder. Ooh, okay, so they are distributed into their own packages, so we have several things in here. Gotta make sure my address doesn't show on this, but I don't think it does. I think it only shows the Address of the forwarding service. So we have this one, which probably is 2 sleeves. This one is something else, and then this one is cards. So let me show you the non-climactic stuff. So this one is just cards, and these are cards that I need to update my Japanese DP deck. And, you know, believe it or not, or I think it's pretty obvious, but this promo hasn't come out in English yet. This is the Gallop promo that restands, and that makes Gallop much better. So I wanted to play with this, so that's something that came in. Now this should be the VMC Spring one. So I was telling you guys that I got, you know, I was searching for VMC sleeves because they were finally, it was a Japanese Vanguard event that was selling event sleeves. So I was like, you know, I want to own that too. And yes, this does look to be the one. Yep. Perfect quality. There you go. VMC 2020 Spring. So this just concluded very recently, actually, but it's a nice design. They also made them in red too, so I'll try to find those at some point. But very clean design, and you know, I dig those clean designs. So we'll see what deck this goes on to. Maybe Gavriel, maybe something else. We'll see. But yeah, beautiful. So that's another one added to my collection of rare sleeves. But now this one, this package, this is where the Holy Grail sits, and I am beyond excited to finally see this. Oh my lord. Oh my god, it really is the one and only. Could it really be 2 unopened packs of VF Grand Prix 2011? I cannot believe it. Oh my god. Alright. It's the moment of truth. I want to see if they're unopened and how badly bent they are. Because with these things, they would normally be bent as hell. Oh my god. They really look to be unopened. Oh my god. And it's 2 packs. This mad lad sold 2 packs of VF Grand Prix 2011 for 60 bucks. It's insane. This, compared to the prices I told you earlier, this is insane. This is the Holy Grail. This is honestly the Holy Grail of Vanguard event sleeves. It's not even that big of a deal. Like, I am hyping the hell out of them, but that's because they mean a lot to me. They're actually not that big of a deal. They're actually nothing of the sort that I'm talking about. Like, if you're into this very niche part of sleeve collecting, and I don't even collect sleeves, you know, there's people that buy like every single sleeve on the market, but for me it's purely Vanguard event sleeves that I care about, that I actually collect and want to own all of them. And these ones, oh my god. This is the Holy Grail of those. Like, I cannot stress that enough. I'm gonna open up one of these packs. Ooh, it opens very easily, but I don't think it was opened before. But they are brand new. Yeah, they smell brand new too. Oh my god. Damn, they do have a little bit of wear on them, but I think it's just because they're so old. This is actually insane. I can't believe I finally have them. That's honestly the one thing right now for me is I can't believe I own them. Owning them has always seemed something so far-fetched to me because I was just starting to lose hope. Yeah, 53 copies. This is one whole pack of VF Grand Prix 2011 with 3 spares as it should be. That's crazy. This is crazy. I don't know which deck I'm going to put this on yet. It might just be on my DP deck going forward, but I really like the way the 2013s look, so gonna have to decide where I put those then. But 2 packs, I can't believe it. You know, my waiting has really paid off. You know, it's not just that it paid off that I finally got them for a decent price, but I also got 2 for an insane price. And I'm gonna be real with you, I'm probably gonna use both. You know, this is probably gonna be going on 2 different decks, but yeah, that's all. That's the video. That's literally the video. There's nothing else about it. I finally finished the Holy Grail of Vanguard event sleeves. That's all that mattered to me for so long, and it's like the only thing I've ever cared about. I never cared about max SPing a deck or anything, like full bling. None of that. I just cared about these sleeves, and now I feel complete. Literally, the moment I bought these, I was like, as long as they arrive and they're not damaged, I'm good. I'm good. There's nothing else I could ask for. Daikaiser in Standard, it's fine. I'll live with the happy memories of Daikaiser as he's existed. But these sleeves, I had to own them. I simply had to own them. So yeah, that's honestly it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys today. Let me know in the comments if you guys have a similar sort of thing you're obsessed with that feels so mundane, you know, whether, like I said, it's an item or some kind of achievement or just a pack of sleeves, you know, just those kind of things. I want to know your guys' obsessions or some kind of goal that you have that you want to reach, whether it's like max SP a deck or whatever, any kind of thing. I want to hear more about you guys as well, what you are crazy about in your own way. So yeah, this was my little story of my little adventure to get these amazing collector sleeves. So just fantastic. I really love them, and hopefully this was entertaining for you guys as well. But anyway, that'll be it for me today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.